words, language, any form of verbal skills. Okay, so that is like one form of learning. We know that language is like one of the most crucial and important factor in our lives. Just imagine a world without any language. Of course, we can still communicate, but language is like something very important. And you can just reflect in your life itself how you have acquired this skill, right? Like you were babbling, cooing when you were babies, then you have learned one letters. See, that is like a form of learning, right? It was like permanent. It is permanent. Still, you have just acquired more skills that have added to the already existing knowledge, but nothing has changed, right? It is like a long term, a permanent change that occurred in your behavior. Verbal learning. What about motor learning? What it means by the term motor? Any idea?
The physical ability growth.
Yes, that's it. The physical abilities, right? All the activities and movements you used to do with your arms, legs, fingers, head, and all the body parts, right? That is what we used to call as motor learning. So, were you were able to like run and walk like how you're doing now when you were a baby? Yeah, tell me. When you were like 6 months or one year, oh yes, were you able to run or jump like you are doing, or a kid is doing when they are like 3 or 4 years? I hope you people are observing the kids and babies around you. If you have observed them enough, you will be able to answer this. This is very common questions. Do you think a 6 months year old baby is able to run?
No.
Yes. So this is like a slow process, like happening as we are progressing, as we are moving from one phase of the life to the other phase. That is actually happening. What is happening now? Coming to the next one, sensory motor learning. Sensory motor learning means it's like a combination of both the sensations, that is the sensory inputs, and the motor activities. Here there is a combination of both the sensory inputs and the motor activities. Can you give me an example for any task which require a combination of both sensory inputs and motor activities? Yeah, so many activities are there around you which require both your what to say, sensory, uh, sensory and motor combining, that combination. Yes. Okay, excellent. basics of learning. So in psychology, learning, like whatever we are doing in a way, of course there are certain things that are not learned. What we call for such things that we have not learned, but it is present by birth itself. What is the term that we use for that? So for example, if it is a baby, if a baby is hungry, he or she used to cry, right? That is not something somebody has taught the baby. It is something present by birth itself. For sake of survival, there are certain things that is present in ourselves, which we used to call as. The word starts with I. Can somebody please?
Instincts.
Excellent. Instincts or innate things. We used to say innate by birth. Okay, that's the term. So innate things are there and learned things are there. So here we are, psychology is actually dealing with our behavior, right? The study of behavior and mental process. So behavior is, most of the behavior are something that we can observe from others. So we are actually, in a way observing the behaviors of others and imitating that. So that is also a form of learning. Okay. So learning do plays a significant role in psychology. Psychology of learning is very crucial. So there are like certain theories which attempts to explain learning. Okay, and they are very famous. I don't know whether you people have heard about this classical conditioning theory, operant conditioning theory, observational learning theory. Okay, so let's see what is classical conditioning. Actually, classical conditioning is a theory that was developed by the Russian physician Ivan Pavlov in the year 1927. Okay, so this Russian physician, that is Ivan Pavlov, he was a physician, not purely a psychologist. He was so much interested in the study of digestion. I hope you people know what is digestion. Okay, so he was so much interested in that, how it is happening, what is the process and all those, and how, animals and human beings are differ from each other in various aspects. So he was so much interested in all these aspects. So he said that classical conditioning is a form of learning in which one stimulus, okay, one stimulus or one cue or one object, whatever, it serves as a signal for the occurrence of a second stimulus. A form of learning in which one stimulus serves as a signal for the occurrence of a second stimulus. So this means if one stimulus is there, okay, the presence of that stimulus itself will leads to or will result in the occurrence of a second stimulus. That is what this classical conditioning refers to. So during classical conditioning, organisms acquire information about the relations between various stimuli. Don't worry, I know this is like kind of complex for you because this is new. Let's see how it is happening. Now let's see what are the terms important here. There is one unconditioned stimulus. I want you people to learn these terms, okay? This is very important. Unconditioned stimulus is there, unconditioned response is there, conditioned stimulus is there, conditioned response is there. Okay. Now what is unconditioned stimulus? Unconditioned stimulus can be any stimulus that can provoke the occurrence of a unconditioned response. Okay. Unconditioned stimulus is any stimulus that provokes unconditioned response. Now, what is unconditioned response? A response that is evoked by unconditioned stimulus. What is conditioned stimulus? Conditioned stimulus is a stimulus that is repeatedly paired with the unconditioned stimulus.